Welcome back, one and all. We have an amazing match here for you today. Mercenary Coalition versus VYDRA Relolded. This is CCP Fozzie, joined by Moderator. And we have some really cool setups. Mercenary Coalition has brought double Navy Scorpion, Scimitar, Drake, Cerberus, double Caracal, Hyena, double Flycatcher. Lots of rapid heavies and rapid lights, lots of burst damage. And VYDRA Relolded, why don't you tell us a bit about that, Moderator?
Yeah, they brought a Balgorn, 2 Navy Harbingers, 2 Burdick's Navy Issues, a Oneros for reps, piloted none other than Nika Noiser, Hyena, 2 Purifiers, and a Hound.
And this is the flagship from VYDRA Relolded, dodging the ban for Mercenary Coalition. It is basically the setup that they faced up against yesterday, and we're going to see how well they can deal with it themselves using it. The match has now begun. The teams have actually started out quite a ways away from each other, which is a good thing for VYDRA, because these battlecruisers are sniper fit. They're going to try to use range to their advantage. These are rapid heavy Navy Scorpions, so don't have the greatest range, and we're going to see whether Mercenary Coalition can come in close enough to catch these guys. Already a Hyena down.
Yeah, it looks like the rails from the Burdick's and the Harbingers having the the long-range lasers have taken down that Hyena, so good application there. Choosing to primary the support, I like. Having the Hyena off the field means that your missiles are going to apply that much less damage from the target painters not being there.
Yep, target painter and webs both would be a problem for VYDRA Relolded. So getting the Hyena down, they can probably kill things like Flycatchers very easily as well. These sniper battlecruiser teams great at killing frigates and destroyers. Neros is tackled for VYDRA Relolded and is starting to drop. Nika Noiser taking a lot of damage. He does have some rep drones on him, but we'll see how long those guys can hold up. He has a big swarm of rep drones on him. Let's see if the Scorpion Navy Show has a smart bomb, and he does. Again, smart play by Mercenary Coalition. I think it's really important that every team have smart bombs to be able to take out these ECM drones, or these rep drones, and that's exactly what he's doing, and he'll be able to take down this Aneros once he clears off those drones.
It looks like those Navy Scorpions actually just micro-jump drive on top of Nika Noiser at 0. They're on top of him perfectly and applying damage. In response, VYDRA is doing all that they can to kill the Navy Scorpion, and with the Scimitar completely out of range, they're not able to repair Alicon, and it looks like the second Navy Scorpion is going to be the secondary as soon as he drops.
Wow,
really good idea by Mercenary Coalition to get on top and kill Nika Noiser, needing to have something clutch to kill it, but it looks like they're going to trade out the Scorpion and not get anything for it.
Man, they need to kill this Aneros fast. Already 1 Navy Scorpion down. If they can't kill the second one before their second Navy Scorpion goes down, they're out of damage on this team. They've got a Cerberus and 2 Caracals and 2 Flycatchers, but that Drake is a no-missile Drake. It has no weapons in its high slots. It is just there for the links and maybe a nude or a smart bomb. If they can't get this Aneros down fast, they're in big trouble. What they really would need actually right now is a Hyena with a target painter to help apply the damage.
It'd be really nice if they had that right now, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But VYDRA very smartly sniped that one off the field, and the Aneros would have been dead right now if they hadn't killed that Hyena right away. Great primary choice from VYDRA.
Yeah, Nika Noiser doing a good job. He was initially tackled, but he's burnt away. He's got the rep drones all on top of him. Very disciplined.
He has one rep drone, one surviving rep drone sitting on him.
Yeah, so what the Flycatchers and the Caracals were doing is they were applying their rapid damage to kill the rep drones. They were very astute in realizing that they couldn't actually kill him with the rep drones on top of him. So they put their damage on top of the rep drones, and then they're going for the Oneros.
Yeah, they had the smart bombs as well when the Scorpions were on top of him. But of course, after burning Aneros fast enough to pull away, and that's exactly what he did. And Nika Noiser, I think, is going to survive this whole fight. This is amazing. 1 Caracal down. They just need to finish off the another Caracal and the Flycatchers, and Nika is just sitting there in a sliver of armor with 1 single Tech 1 medium rep drone orbiting him. And that is an amazing survival. Actually, now that I say that, he's going to die as he drops through structure. But he survived long enough to give his team the win. If he had died when most Oneros in that situation would have died, then VYDRA would have been in big trouble. But now they're in a dominant position.
Maybe a bit of a misplay being at exactly 100 kilometers. It's very risky being in that range from any sort of battleships just because you can get micro jump drive on top of. But Mercenary Coalition, they couldn't make the trade, and without the trade having been there, they lost too much of their damage, and VYDRA was able to snowball that.
Yeah, Drake going down now. This is the Link Drake, no weapons, so knocking it off the field is going to make all the other ships a bit easier to kill. It looks like Mercenary Coalition is using those Flycatchers to kill some of these frigates, knock down Purifiers, which is what, of course, Flycatchers are great at, but it's too little too late at this point. They're not going to be able to kill these battlecruisers or this flagship Balgorn, and that's going to be basically the whole match. And VYDRA Relolded is going to move on and face off against Northern Coalition in what is going to be an amazing match later today.
Well, they took down one coalition. Let's see how they can do against another one. But I think Northern Coalition is going to be a bit of an animal. That's just a different beast from Mercenary Coalition. NC Dot playing mostly well against Pandemic Legion.
Yeah, they had a rough match at the beginning, but then almost pulled it back from a really hero move from the Drake pilot of Ajax, drawing 2 Sleipnirs out of the arena, baiting them out. We'll see if they can pull ahead of VYDRA in their match later on. So at this point, it's just a matter of time. We've got Tackle on the Cerberus, Mercenary Coalition, going to lose him next. And they're actually just not even worrying about the Scimitar right now. Scimitar is getting some reps, but it looks like they've got some ECM drones on him that'll at least be breaking his locks occasionally.
Yeah, it looks like the Hyena got initial webs on him, but he broke them. And now with Newts, the Scimitar's going to eventually cap out. His prop mode's off, so he's going to be taking damage next as soon as the Cerberus drops. And then it's just a mop up from there. Flag Hedges won't survive long without any sort of reps on the field. VYDRA survives with the 4 Battlecruiser core and the Balgorn.
Yeah, so, which is what you need.
So, Fozzie, tell us a little bit about the core we're seeing a lot more, especially in this losers bracket, about the double Navy Harbingers and the Navy Brutix. What can you get out of them?
You get a lot of long-range damage. You get the ability to field links. You get some good buffer, all at a very good point value. 13 points for what you get with these Navy battlecruisers is really great. It's also really hard to ban out because you can use the Navy Harb, you can use the Navy Brutix, you can use the Fleet Hurricane. All of those sub in very well with each other. We've been seeing people kind of mixing and matching those sets of ships. They all do the job with the long-range weapons, and it allows you to kill these small ships fast, as you saw with the Hyena. It allows you to outrange things like rapid heavy Scorpions, so they can essentially force the Scorpions to move in and corner these much faster ships, which takes a lot of time. And just you deal a lot of damage. It's really vulnerable to tracking disruptors, though, which is why we saw a lot of tracking disruptors in the losers bracket yesterday.
Yeah, in the last patch between the tournament, AT14, last year's event, and this event, Battlecruisers, of course, got a buff to a 25% optimal, and I believe fall-off bonus?
Optimal and fall-off, yep.
So these Harbingers shooting out with Aurora will hit out very far, as well as the Brutixes with Spike, I believe, or Javelin.
Yeah, Spike for long range, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can snipe really well. The tracking isn't great up close, but you have the speed to be able to get far away from the battleships, the enemy team, and you can start out at range and just snipe the small ships before they can get close to you.
Yeah, and it looks like they're about to snipe the Scimitar, and VYDRA is going to relive to relull another day.
Mercenary Coalition, I think they have to be happy with this performance. They, of course, are a team that had a really old history in the tournament, but then were gone for quite a long time and are back. And this is still a really strong performance. Getting knocked out here, but making it all the way to the third day or the fourth day of the tournament. And yeah, I think they got to be happy, and they'll probably be trying to build on that performance for next year.
Yeah, excellent top 16 performance. They'll get an invite to next year's Alliance tournament automatically with the seeding. Can't be too mad about a loss to VYDRA Reloaded. And with that, we're going to send it back to the announcer's desk.
And the Mercenary files collated into the circular bin. We'll not see them again in Alliance Tournament 14. VYDRA Relolded will move onward with their flagship Balgorn. You gotta wonder, was the ban of the Balgorn a mistake? Should they have gone for one of the Armor Lodges instead to try and make the comp untenable? I mean, if you ban the Oneros, maybe they take a Guardian, but it's probably not as stable.
Would have created a whole different fight, you know? I mean, for me, that fight was all, the micro jumps from the Navy Scorps was a huge gamble. from the side of VYDRA. So we see MC focusing the Hyena straight away, knowing that the Hyena is going to allow them to apply far more damage, the two Navy Scorps to apply their damage to webbed and painted targets. We see the two Navy Scorps try and microjump and tackle and try to kill the Aneros of MC, but in the process get well out of range of the scimitars, and a really good response from MC instantly switching onto one of the Navy Scorps and blatting it really, really fast. And obviously at that point the Simi's trying to burn in to be able to provide reps, wasn't able to do so. So a really good response killing both those Navy Scorps, and really once those two Navy Scorps go down, it's all over. I mean, they've lost so much of their damage, even if they've already lost their Hyena. And so really once that happens and the two Navy Scorps go down, it's an easy win and just mopping up.
They had just enough damage left to bleed through and drop that Oneros, but not in time. It was just amazing flying by that Logi pilot.
It really looks like, sort of one-sided, but that gamble could have paid off. That gamble of jumping onto the Aneros, if they were able to kill it, and if the scimitar was perhaps a little bit closer, able to land reps a little bit earlier, it could have turned out really different. That was a really clutch response. And if the MC hadn't have responded as quickly and started focusing down that Navy Scorp, the whole match would have turned out very different.
Now, Graham, we were talking about discipline before. We see PL do, not a totally foreign maneuver to that one, where they do just send the Logi in. They know that they're going to lose him. They know his name is Tinkang. He's going down, but he's going to deliver necessary reps while the battleships take out what they need to. And
we had a similar thing happen to us in AT10 when we went against PL. We knew our Logi was going to go down. That was just a fact. Came up against a dual Malice and double Belgorn comp. It's just like, look, man, you're toast. And but we did the mental math and figured out that we had enough DPS to break through their reps. Same kind of stuff's happening here. VYDRA Relolded put Mercenary Coalition in the corner by getting rid of that Hyena, forced their hand. They had to make a gamble. They decided to try and just rush the Logi by doing the micro jump drive, but it was too little too late. They'd already been.
It's very close, though.
Let's see how those hits came down in the infographic. Taking a look at the post-match wrap-up, Mercenary Coalition taking, obviously, the brunt of the damage there, 180,000 just coming down from VYDRA, dealing not nearly enough to have an impact on the match.
And if a couple of things had been a little bit different, if the Hyena hadn't have gone down so quick, and if the Simi perhaps could have gotten into position a little bit earlier, and that is, if the Navy Scorps were able to pop that Aneros, which would have been a lot easier with the help of the Hyena, I think that fight would have gone very, very differently.
Losing that Hyena early was critical.
Really good situational awareness from MC, realizing what was going on and taking advantage of the situation and realizing that the two Navy Scorps jumping there in Aneros was out of rep range.
And again, we're seeing that the 4 battlecruiser core that we started seeing a little bit yesterday. I don't think we saw them so much in the first weekend.
We're definitely going to see a lot more of those.
Yeah, Brutix, Harbinger, Navy issues coming in there. That's a slight point increase, but it really makes the difference.
And that roll bonus that's fairly recent, I mean, it makes a really big difference. The 25% bonus to fall off and optimal makes a really big difference in their viability. All of those ships, the Navy Hub, the Hurricane Fleet, and the Navy Brutix all have really big tracking bonuses as well, meaning that when you're fitting beams or rails, you're getting, or artillery in the case of the Hurricane Fleet, you're getting faster. I mean, that's a huge bonus. The Hurricane Fleet has 10% per level, so it's a 50% tracking bonus at max level, which means far better application than a regular BC. Having 4 of them, meaning that even if one of them is tackled and is going to struggle to apply at close range, the other 3 can just burn away and melt whoever is tackling the 4th.
Plus, they're really ban protected because you can just pick and swap. I mean, that's why I think we're going to see a lot of these, is that it's a very strong core that is very easy to work around bans, because to basically take care of that,
swapping them in and
you
out,
would have to use all your bands.
Yeah, you've got 4 options more or less, depending on how flexible your comp is.
Exactly.
For any one battle cruiser.
And also, super resistant to. I mean, you can't just field one ECM. You can't just field racial ECM because you've got 3 different potential races to deal with. So there seems to be a lot of teams taking advantage of these sort of cores. There's a lot of things you can do with
and
them.
this is what we hope to see as the rules change in the Alliance tournament. We're trying to promote different kinds of play. We don't ban out ECM because the comps should be able to deal with ECM.
That's right.
And you see in these matches this late into the tournament, teams definitely taking it into account, building their comps in order to make it just a non-starter.
Yeah, this
And
is. No, go ahead. Sorry.
You hear experienced pilots in the AT like Moderator and Chesser and others talk about ECM and say, listen, at the end of the day, if you prepare for it, it is not that difficult to deal with. Really, it's just about preparation, and you'll see that some of the higher tier teams will very rarely. I said it, didn't I?
You did
I
it.
said
You've
tier.
done it.
Shit, I said, sorry guys, but you'll see those high tier teams generally deal with ECM because they have prepared for it and they know how to deal with it.